Gentlemen, what is going on today? My name is Ryan Mickler. I'm your host and the founder of the Order of Man podcast and movement. Welcome here today. This is your Friday Field Notes. If you're new to the podcast, you're going to hear from me and some thoughts I have for the next 20 or 30 minutes. But in addition to this Friday Field Notes, we also do our Tuesday interview shows where I'm interviewing guys like Jocko Willink and Grant Cardone and Tim Kennedy and Tim Tebow and Matthew McConaughey and Ben Shapiro. The list goes on and on and on. David Goggins has been on the podcast. I mean, we have so many incredible men that have joined us, which is a testament to the work that we're doing here and to the fact that you're implementing what it is that we're sharing and the insights with regards to how to be a more well-rounded, more competent, complete man. So glad you're tuning in. I'm going to share with you guys today how to make the most of the new year. Obviously, we're winding down 2023 and we're moving into 2024. There's a lot of guys who are questioning or asking or wondering or contemplating how to make this year better than ever. One thing I often hear is on social media mostly is how 2023 was our warm up and 2024 is going to be the year to really take off. I want that. I kind of chuckle when I see it because more often than not, it comes from a bunch of blowhards who think they're going to do something different in 2024 than they did in 2023. But the reality paints an entirely different picture. I do not want you to be that blowhard. I don't want you to be that guy who just talks a big game but doesn't actually implement it. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 key things that you can do in order to actually make 2024 your year. Not just post the same thing you did 12 months ago about how you were warming up this year. Enough with the warming up. You're stretched, you're warm, you're ready to go. Let's make 2024 the best year ever. A couple of things before we get started. Number one, we've got our merchandise. I'm wearing one of our brand new Order of Man beanies for the winter. This is called the Fisherman Beanie. We've got this color, which is the rust color. We've got yellow, we've got blue, we've got black, we've got red. And I think those are the 5 or 6 colors that we've got. But in addition to that, we've got t-shirts, we've got battle planners, which is our number one seller. We've got decals, we've got patches. If you want to support what we're doing, look good in the meantime, and get after it with the battle planner, then check it out at store.orderofman.com. And then the very last thing I want to mention before I get into it today is that we have got our exclusive brotherhood, the Iron Council, which is open officially as of the 15th of December. And we're shutting it down on the 7th of January. We're closing it up. We're not letting anybody else in. So if you really, really, really want to make 2024 your year and you're not just spouting off on social media about how 2024 is going to be your year, then make sure you check out the Iron Council at orderofman.com/Iron Council. And I would say one other thing with regards to the Iron Council, one of the things that I hear often from guys who join us in the brotherhood is that they've been thinking about it for years before they finally pulled the trigger. So here's the question I would ask of you. Is 2023 better for you on a professional, personal, relational, spiritual perspective than it has been over the last 1, 2, 3 years, however long you've been thinking about joining the Iron Council? If the answer is no, it's the same or it's worse, then what are you waiting for? All right, you got to do something different. And I know it's an investment. I know it's an investment of money and time. I get all the hurdles. I get all the barriers. I get all the obstacles. I get it. But if this year is the same as it was last year, which was the same as it was the year before, damn, do something different. Please do something different. I've had to do that in my own life, and it pays huge, huge dividends. Orderofman.com/Iron Council. All right, guys, let's get into this. Making the most of the new year. Number one, you've got to make a plan. So many men are just randomly throwing everything they possibly can at the wall just to see what sticks. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's futile. It doesn't work. Fellas, make a freaking plan already. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be flawless. It doesn't have to be without things that might come up or challenges or obstacles or like maybe just a miscalculation of what it might be. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just make a damn plan, please. I think George Patton said I'm paraphrasing here, but a poor plan executed is better than a plan not executed. Something to that effect. I butchered that. You guys can go look that up. Just make a freaking plan. Right? What does that actually look like? Because I don't want to just leave you out in the dark and say, hey, make a plan, just do it. I actually want to give you some advice. Here's what I would suggest to you. You focus in on 4 key areas of your life over the next 90 days. That's it. That's all I need you to do. I don't need you to focus on 17 different things. I don't need you to do 10 different things to achieve your optimal self in the next 60 days. All I need you to do is 4 key objectives. Number one, calibration. Get yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually right. If you're going to read the Bible every single day, great. If you're going to journal every single day, great. Whatever you can do to get closer to realizing who you are and who you're meant to be on a spiritual, mental, and emotional front, that's what we're talking about. That's called calibration. You're calibrating yourself. You're getting in alignment with yourself. Number 2 is uh, your connections. That is your relationships with other people. And I don't want you focusing on 37 different relationships. I want you focusing on 1 or 2. If you are struggling in your marriage, I want you to focus on the relationship with your wife for the next 90 days. That's it. That's all I want you to focus on. Now, sure, you might have some other things, some ancillary type relationships you have to deal with, your kids, friends, colleagues, coworkers, clients, employees, etc. But I want you to double down on the relationship that you have with your wife. It's the connections. Okay. Number 3 is your condition. That's your physical well-being, your strength, your stamina, your recovery, your sleep, your nutrition, your diet, your exercise, all of the things that have to do with this meat sack that we live in. How are you going to make the most of your body? How are you going to optimize your body? How are you going to lose fat? How are you going to build muscle? How are you going to be strong? How are you going to be capable? How are you going to be recovered? How are you going to overcome the health ailments that you might be dealing with? And I don't even care what those ailments are. I care. Please don't misunderstand me. I care that you might be struggling with health. You might be hung up. You might have a broken limb. You might be dealing with cancer. You might be, hell, you might even be terminal. Yeah, I care about that. But what I'm saying when I say I don't care is I really don't think that whatever you might be dealing with is going to keep you from improving your physical fitness. If you're a diabetic, that might be a lifelong prognosis, but should you eat better? Absolutely. You should manage your nutrition. Absolutely. You should lose 30, 40, 50 pounds. If you've got a limb that's either broken or dysfunctional and are not working, I had a shoulder surgery last year. I couldn't use my shoulder. I got 3 other limbs I can use. I've got my entire body. Just because this thing doesn't work doesn't mean the rest of me doesn't work. So get after it. Stop creating all these excuses about, well, I'm diabetic. Well, I'm 50 pounds overweight. Well, I broke my leg. Well, I don't care about any of that. And you shouldn't either. There's things that you can improve upon. There's things that you can work on right now to improve your well-being that will pay dividends. And the last is contribution. Ultimately, this is becoming a man of value. Man, if you see that woman next to you that she's a widower or she's a single mother, whatever that might be, just go serve her, please. Go mow her lawn. Go rake her leaves. Go drop her a basket of goodies. Go buy her a gift card to Walmart. I don't care. Like, help her. Please help her. If you see a brother in need, you see a guy, you're walking down the street and you see this guy and he's homeless, you might say, well, he should do his own thing. I get it. I understand. I've been that way too. Just help the guy. Just pull out your wallet, throw a $20 in his basket. You're not responsible for what he does with that. You're responsible for what you do as a contributing member of society. You don't need accolades. You don't need notoriety. Leave that waitress. You go out to dinner and you see this woman and you feel like you should leave her a big tip. Leave her a big tip. Don't post it. Please don't post it on social media. I don't need to know you did it. Nobody else needs to know you did it. Just post that shit. Excuse me. Don't post that shit. And just help her. Just be there, contribute. I mean, your community has done so much for you. Do something for the community. And look, I know it's in vogue. It's popular to post that on social media and say, "Oh, look, I left a $100 tip." I don't care about that. What I care about is that woman who can't buy Christmas gifts for her kids because she's financially destitute gets $100 and she might be able to buy her kids a brand new pair of pajamas or a blanket. That's what I care about. And that's what all of us, I think, should care about. But ultimately, the idea here is to make a plan in those four quadrants. Again, it's calibration, connection, condition, and then contribution. All right, number two, guys, invest in yourself. So many guys want the return without the investment because you can't realize a return without an investment. I had a bunch of people when I was running my financial planning practice, they'd come in and they'd say, "Ryan, what's the best return you can get me? My guy can get me 10%. Can you get me better than that?" I'm like, "Well, hold on a second. Let's see how much you're investing." And I would ask them, "How much are you investing now?" And they'd say zero. Dude, I don't care if that guy got you 10% or 12% or 100%. 100% of zero is zero. Elementary kids learn this in school. 100% of zero is zero. Okay, what I'm saying here is that you need to start getting yourself in the game. Don't talk to me about what I can do or what the Iron Council can do or what Jordan Peterson can do or what Jocko Willing can do or what any of these people can do if you're not willing to invest in yourself. Guys, put your money where your mouth is. Ryan, I'm broke. So was I. When I was in my financial planning practice, before I decided to throw in the towel, I went to one last seminar. And I said, "This is it. This has got to work. If this doesn't work, I'm out." Excuse me. And I went there. I spent $1,500 to go there. I had to spend $1,500 to go there, and I had to buy my plane ticket and my hotel and any food or whatever I wanted. I didn't have that kind of money. I went out there. I spent $1,500. I put it on a damn credit card. Spent $1,500. I went out there, and I was blown away by what I heard. And he said, "You know what? I want another $5,000 from you." I didn't have $1,500, let alone $5,000. And he wanted more from me. And I called my then wife at the time and I said, "Hey, look, here's the deal." And she said, "Yeah, do it. I believe in you." And so I wrote him a check for $5,000. And then I hurried and deposited a bunch of money from different sources into my account so that check would clear. And that spelled the difference between success and failure in my financial planning practice, which ultimately led to starting a podcast, which ultimately led to doing the Order Man podcast, which ultimately led to me selling my financial planning practice, which, the rest is history. Guys, invest in yourself, believe in yourself, know that you can do it. You can. I believe in you. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm not great. I'm not special. I'm not wonderful. I'm not more gifted. I don't have more connections. I don't have more money than you. I'm not better than you. And I'm doing it. I truly believe that I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it because I'm better. I'm doing it because I'm willing to invest in myself. I believe in myself. I know that if I put money into something that it's going to work out. I know that if I invest my time and resources and energy into something that it's going to yield results. Go to conferences, buy books. Damn, if you can't buy a book, go to the library. If you can't invest in a program, listen to a podcast, sign up for an email, go to a conference. There is so much you can do. Even within our organization, you can listen to this podcast. You can join the Iron Council, which, as I said earlier, is open right now. You could go to one of our events. You could buy our merchandise. You can sign up for our emails. There's like 17 different things you can do that are all free within our organization. Don't tell me that you can't invest in yourself. It doesn't take a lot, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 a month, whatever it takes. Man, believe in yourself. I believe in you. Believe in yourself enough that you can invest $100 a month. That's nothing. And I'm not trying to discount what you guys are dealing with financially, but $100 a month, $1,200 a year. What if I told you, "Hey, give me $1,200 this year, and in return, I'll give you $50,000. I'll give you $100,000." How often would you make that deal? Every day you'd make that deal. And yet you don't believe enough in yourself to make that kind of deal. Go to the conference. The ticket's going to cost you $500. The plane flight's going to cost you $400. You're out $900. Dude, the connection that you make at that event might yield you $900,000 over the course of your lifetime. Enough with the playing small. Enough with the not believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself. Put your money where your mouth is. Nut up, sack up, whatever you want to say. Do it, please. Number 3, prune the tree. Prune the tree. About a quarter of a mile north of me, just right up the road, there's an LDS church. Well, it used to be an orchard. It's not anymore. They tore all the trees down and now they lease it out. But there used to be an orchard, and it was a peach tree orchard. And part of what we would do is we would go out there and we would prune the tree. We'd cut off all the excess and the extra and then the non-important. We'd prune the trees. And we prune the trees so that we could focus all of the nutrients in the soil and nutrients in the feed and nutrients in the air and everything else that those peaches needed. We would prune all the excess so that the few that were left would thrive. Guys, you need to prune your tree. All right. There's people in your life, even close people, family members, colleagues, coworkers, employees, who are just sucking all the nutrients out of your life. And they're zapping all the energy out of your life, and they're making it miserable. And you might say to yourself, well, I really care about this person. That's great. That's fine. That's wonderful. Then you can go back to what I was saying earlier about giving that person money for charity, but that person doesn't need to be in your life to the extent that they may be right now. You need to trim that shit out of your life. You can't operate if you have toxic people. You can't operate correctly and into your full potential if you have people weighing you down. Imagine running a race. You just qualified for the Olympics and you're going to run. I'm no track person, but let's say you're going to run the if 1,000-meter run was a thing. Let's say you're going to run 1,000 meters. Okay. Again, I'm not a track person. You're going to run 1,000 meters and you got to compete with these world-class athletes. And these people don't, they're ready to go. They're trained. They're good. They're solid. They're as strong as they've ever been. And you're strong, except for you got to carry 3 other people who are going to hold on to your freaking waistband as you run. Are you going to win? Of course you're not. Guys, cut these people from your life. If you're upset, angry, even social media, the last 7 days, I've cut probably hundreds of people off of social media. I've unfollowed, I've blocked, I've just completely just abandoned. I don't have time for that. I don't want to deal with that. If it makes me feel upset or angry or riled up or pissed off, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. And these are people that you know. These are people I know. These are people I like. These are people who have been mentors and coaches, and yet they're toxic. It's like sludge in the drain. I'm not dealing with them anymore. I can't. I'm not willing to do it. And you shouldn't be either. Prune the tree. If your sister is toxic, jump ship. You're done. If your parents are toxic, jump ship. You're out. You don't owe them anything. If there's friends that you've known for 20, 30, 40 years and they're toxic and they're dragging you down, they're weighing you down, bail on that shit. We can't deal with that anymore. It's hard. I know. I get it. I've done it in my own personal life. You feel a sense of duty and responsibility and obligation to these people. They don't have any vested interest in you, and you owe them nothing. The people that you follow on social media that are making you angry and upset and riled up and pissed off, block that shit. Get rid of that in your life. You don't need that. You don't need that. All right. Number 4, commit to mastery. I've been talking a lot about this over the past 2 months. Mastery, doing everything perfectly. When I do this podcast, I'm genuine and sincere about it. I'm all in on this thing. I don't let distractions get the better of me. My phone's nowhere in sight. My lighting is right. The technology is right. I'm wearing this hat because I wanted to promote one of our new hats. I've taken notes. You can actually see me. I'm looking at my notes right now because I have notes. I'm prepared for this conversation. The audio is right. The visual is right. Everything is right. It's where I want it to be. Do you think that just happened by just happenstance? No, I was intentional about it. When my kids come over today at 4 o'clock, we've got plans. I've got dinner prepped. I know what I'm going to do. We're going Christmas shopping. We're going to go to the mall and I'm going to help them find some gifts for their mom. Like, it's planned. It's planned to perfection because perfection is what is required. Now, some people say perfection is not achievable. That doesn't mean we can't strive towards mastery. We can't strive toward doing it better than we did the day before. Do it the best you absolutely can. If you go into the gym tomorrow morning, I want you to look your best. I want you to be ready. I want you to get up. I want you to brush your teeth. I want you to do your hair. I want you to be deliberate, intentional about the clothing you wear that'll help you produce what you want to produce. I want you to go in there. I want you to have a system. I want you to have your pre-workout already pumping through your blood. Then I want you to execute flawlessly. I want you to do your bench press and your squat and your deadlift and your pull-ups and your dips. I want you to do those right. And then I want you to get back to your office or your work. And I want you to spend time with your family. And I want you to make breakfast for them if that's your thing, and journal if that's for your thing, and plan your day if that's your thing. Perfection is what is required. Mastery in all things. And if you feel like you can't master all things, then what I would say to you is get rid of some things. So many of us are tired and inundated. I've got a great conversation with Michael Gervais. He's a psychologist, and he did a lot of work with the Seattle Seahawks, with the USC Trojans, and other elite warriors, athletes. This guy's incredible. And we were talking about this. You've got to go to work and become a master in all that you do. You've got to prune so that you can focus on what is important, and you've got to go all in on that thing. And then, guys, the last thing that I would say to you, the first thing I said to you is create a plan. The last thing I'm going to say to you is rework the plan. No plan is perfect. You're going to create a plan. In fact, I'll say it this way. Many of you are going to create a plan and you're not going to do it because you know it's not perfect. I don't care about any of that. I would just want you to do it and figure it out along the way, because the last step of what I'm going to share with you today is that you got to rework the plan. You could have the most flawless, perfect, beautiful, handcrafted plan that ever was created or devised by the mind of men, and it's not going to work for you because God and life have different things to throw at you. And so the last step number 5 of this is that you've got to rework the plan. You've got to go back to the drawing board. You've got to identify what worked really well in your favor and what didn't work at all. And then you've got to create a new plan so that you can move forward. Too many guys believe that if they create a plan, they're locked into that thing forever. You're not. It's just a strategy. It's just something you're going to employ and see if it works. This is a process of experimentation. Life is a process of experimentation. If I do this, what will happen? I would love to find out. And some of it's going to come to fruition, and some of it's going to backfire, and some of it's going to slap you right across the face. It's just life. And so you get to take the feedback, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, and decide what you're going to continue to implement and what you're going to reject and what you're going to prune, to point number 3, from your life, so that you can move forward and get better every single day. That's mastery. Point number 4. Guys, I believe in you. You may not even believe in you, but I do. And I believe in you because I know that I've had my fair share of challenges, just like you guys have, and I've overcome those trials and hurdles and obstacles and setbacks and failures and struggles. And I know you can too. I don't care what they are. I care what they are, but I don't care what your excuses are. Maybe that's a better way to say it. And they're all excuses. You're terminally ill. Okay, let's deal with that. But in the meantime, what can you do to improve your life and leave a legacy? You went through a divorce? Okay, I went through a divorce this year. It's horrible, horrific. I don't wish that upon anybody. But what can we do to make sure that the relationship that we have with our kids and the working relationship that we have with our mother is good? And what can we do to make sure that the next relationship we have is going to be better than the previous one? You have a medical diagnosis. You got laid off from a job. You had a lawsuit. I care about what those things are, but I don't care about your excuses. Then you shouldn't care about your excuses. What you should care about is your path forward. All right, guys, that's what I've got for you today. I hope that inspires you and isn't so much of a downer, but I hope it inspires you to do more things in 2024 than you did in 2023. Let's recap. I'll give you a few marching orders, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. Number one, make a plan. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a plan, because you know what point number 5 is. So number one, make a plan. Number two, invest in yourself. Spend a few $100s, buy a plane ticket, go to that conference, sign up for that email, sign up for the Brotherhood, the Iron Council, orderman.com/Iron Council. Invest in yourself. Number three, prune the tree. Get rid of all the noise and the nonsense and chaos and clutter and distraction that you don't need in your life. It's people, it's time that you spend, it's money that you're spending on Hulu subscriptions and Disney. Prune all that shit. Number four, commit to mastery. If you don't feel like you can be a master, then prune until you become a master at the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things that are important to you. And then number 5, rework the plan, because it's not going to work. Whatever plan you create that I told you to create in point number 1, it's not going to work the way you want it to. I promise you, it's not. Rework it. It's not going to be throw it away. It's just rework it. Some of those things are going to work. Some of them aren't. Take what works, use it in your next plan. Take what doesn't work, throw it in the trash can, and move on, knowing that you're going to achieve better than you did before. Keep repeating this process. This is a process that you will do over the next 50, 60, 70 years of your life. All right, guys, marching orders. Number 1, our exclusive Brotherhood, the Iron Council. orderman.com/Iron Council is open. Point number 2, invest in yourself. That's where this would tie in. Go watch a quick video, go through some frequently asked questions, and get your ass signed up. orderman.com/Iron Council. If you've been sitting around for 6 months or a year or 5 years, is your life better than it was 5 years ago? If the answer is no, it's the same or it's worse, then damn, do something different. Number 2, check out the store. We've got the Fisherman beanie. This is the rust color Fisherman. We've got battle planners. We've got shirts. We've got hats. We've got decals. We've got stickers. We've got the beanie. We've got hoodies. We've got it all. Store at orderman.com. And I'll try to pump those out as quickly as I can. If I can get them out same day, that's what we're going to try to do here as a team. Again, mastery. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 or 4 days. I want to get it out today for you because I care about you guys. All right, that's it. We'll be back next week for our interview. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the Iron Council, orderman.com/Iron Council. Check out the store, store.orderman.com. And let's go out there and become the men we are meant to be.